Kate Middleton is a British princess who is to one day become queen, and the mother of 3 heirs to the throne. She is often compared to Princess Diana, only without scandals, because Kate's public image is impeccable. In our new video, we will tell you about how the wife of Prince William lives. Kate Middleton, how the Princess of Wales lives and how wealthy she is. On January 9, 1982, Michael Francis and Carol Elizabeth Middleton had a daughter named Catherine Elizabeth. The couple lived in Reading and met while working for the famous British Airways. Michael was a flight dispatcher and Carol worked as a flight attendant. Despite being working class, the Middleton family is anything but ordinary. Princess's ancestors are related to the British aristocracy and were landowners. Also, Catherine is probably a distant relative of the first U.S. President George Washington and some other prominent Americans. And besides, an in-depth analysis of her family tree revealed that she and Princess William share a common relative, albeit a very distant one. In 1983, Michael and Carol had a second daughter, Philippa Charlotte, or simply Pippa. And a year later, they and their children moved to the capital of Jordan, Amman, where the father of the family was sent to work. There, Kate attended an English-speaking kindergarten for foreigners and also began to learn Arabic. In September 1986, the family returned to England in the county of Berkshire, where Kate went to St. Andrew's School in Pangbourne, and in 1987, the family was joined by son James William. By that time, Carol Middleton, who had left the profession of a flight attendant, had already started to make decorations for children's parties and sell them to friends. And in the same 1987, she and her husband founded the company Party Pieces on a modest startup capital. The couple began sending orders by mail, and the business started generating a good income. By the way, Kate and her sister and brother were also involved in the family business from an early age, from shooting for the catalog to the development of new products. Meanwhile, Catherine was a diligent student at school and dreamed of becoming an art historian. And at the age of 9, she saw her future husband for the first time. He traveled to St. Andrews as part of the Ludgrove school hockey team to play a game against a local team. In 1955, the Middletons moved to Bucklebury, where they purchased an estate for £1.5 million. Their house was a Georgian red brick mansion surrounded by a lawn, English-style garden, century-old oak trees, and hedges. The future princess's place of study changed along with her place of residence. Together with her sister, she entered the Down House School for Girls. At the age of 13, Kate participated in a play that turned into a prophecy. The plot involves a fortune teller predicting that her character will meet a wealthy gentleman who will take her to London, and his name will be William. Kate then attended Marlborough College. The family trust that the Middletons inherited from Michael's grandmother allowed them to pay for such a prestigious educational facility. In college, Catherine enjoyed playing sports such as tennis, netball, and track and field. It is rumored that even in those years, young Catherine dreamed of the prince, and she had a picture of William hanging on the wall. But the girl denied these rumors, saying that she actually had a poster of a Levi's model. At the same time, while attending college, the girl met Willem Marks, who became her first boyfriend. They dated for a year, after which they broke up but stayed friends. But the relationship with her next boyfriend wasn't so straightforward. Harry Blakelock, captain of the college hockey team, was very popular with the girls and easily toyed with their feelings in the senior year. When their relationship was developing, he was getting closer to Kate, but then disappearing from her life. She, in turn, suffered and kept pondering how to get her fickle boyfriend back. These thoughts haunted her even after she graduated from college, when she took a gap year. Her friends said she talked about Harry all the time. She wanted to be with him even though he had broken her heart. But the girl didn't neglect herself. She traveled extensively, attended art history lectures, and studied Italian painting at the British Institute of Florence, and lived in a rented apartment with 4 other girls. In other months, she also managed to become fluent in Italian and practiced her photography skills. When her parents visited her, her mom tried to distract her from thoughts about her ex by talking about Italian guys. But this only embarrassed Kate. She had never lacked male attention, but was shy around guys. Many described young Catherine as shy and not very confident. The girl then traveled to Chile to participate in a Raleigh International charity program. Volunteers of this organization work on social and environmental projects in developing countries. And eventually, in the summer before starting university, Kate worked at the port of Southampton. After returning home, Middleton enrolled at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, where she briefly studied psychology, but her major was art history. During her studies, the girl worked part-time as a waitress in a cafe, which, by the way, she didn't like at all. She was an active member of the Lumsden Club, which is engaged in charitable projects, and she received the Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award for her achievements. The fateful meeting with Prince William also took place at the university. It occurred in 2001 in a student dormitory, but didn't get any follow-up at the time. Rumor has it that Middleton was the one who persuaded the future king to complete his studies at St. Andrews, which he intended to drop out of after his freshman year. During her first year, Kate dated law student Rupert Finch. He was a few years older than the girl, and the relationship ended a year later when the guy graduated. In 2002, there was a university charity fashion show where it is believed that William looked at Kate differently. Beautiful Catherine walked down the runway in a black translucent dress and a bikini underneath, which attracted Prince's attention. By the way, this dress was later sold at a London auction for more than $100,000. At that time, the heir to the British throne was dating another girl, but their relationship soon ended. In her sophomore year, Kate and her friends shared an apartment with William, and from 2003 to 2005, the future spouses lived in a country house near the university. The prince admitted that living together brought them closer. They had a good time, laughed a lot, and shared common interests. They spent their vacations together, trying not to attract the attention of the paparazzi, but to no avail. Photos of Catherine next to the prince became public. The public called the girl a modern-day Cinderella, and in 2005, the degree of attention grew so high that she turned to lawyers to protect herself from harassment by journalists. In the meantime, she and William had graduated from university after briefly breaking up as students, and their career paths diverged. The guy went off to serve at Sandhurst, and Kate started assisting her parents in the family business. She was involved in developing catalogs and organizing photo shoots. At the same time, she got a job in the procurement department of the Jigsaw store chain and was thinking of becoming a professional photographer. At the time, she was living with her sister in a London apartment that her parents had bought for $1.17 million. The home featured 2 floors, a spacious living dining room, and 3 bedrooms. In 2008, this property was listed for sale for almost $3 million. At the same time, there was a crisis in the relationship with William. They rarely saw each other, and besides, reports about the Crown Prince's affairs routinely surfaced in the media. In 2007, they broke up after their relationship, after which Kate decided to drown out her sadness by partying with friends. Her companion at many hangouts in London clubs was a tall, handsome man from a wealthy family, Henry Ropner. In the summer of that year, the girl joined a women's rowing team called the Sisterhood, which was training for a charity race across the English Channel against the men's team. Catherine was a coxswain and was considered a valuable athlete, but due to safety issues, she had to withdraw. William soon realized his mistake, and the couple reunited. And in 2008, Catherine met Queen Elizabeth II for the first time. The prince's girlfriend began to accompany him more often at various events, and tabloids nicknamed her Waity Katie, implying that she waited too long for a marriage proposal. However, Kate Middleton kept herself busy and launched a junior brand of her family's company. It was focused on providing products for toddlers' birthday parties. William popped the long-awaited question in October 2010 while vacationing in Kenya. It's rumored that he decided to do it after a serious conversation with Kate's mom. According to another version, the Queen of the United Kingdom insisted on the wedding. The prince presented his beloved with an engagement ring with a sapphire and 14 diamonds that belonged to Princess Diana, and shortly before the wedding, he gave her earrings that matched the main piece of jewelry. The wedding date was chosen by the whole of Buckingham Palace so that it wouldn't coincide with other important celebrations. The couple eventually announced that the ceremony would take place on April 29, 2011. Hours before, Elizabeth II granted the groom the titles of Duke of Cambridge, Earl of Strathern, and Baron Carrickfergus, while the bride became Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Cambridge, after the marriage. The wedding was a global event that was covered by all the world's media. Catherine's wedding gown was elegant and classic. The tradition of wearing something old, new, borrowed, and blue was also honored. The old thing was the lace that adorned the bodice of her dress and was made in 19th century techniques. The new things were the diamond earrings given to Catherine by her parents. The borrowed thing was the Cartier tiara taken from the Queen, and the blue thing was the ribbon sewn into the lining of her dress. The skirt was decorated with lace appliques in the form of floral symbols of Great Britain, and the outfit was designed by fashion designer Sarah Burton. But the bride did her makeup herself, having previously taken an express course from the best British makeup artists. The cost of Kate's dress was estimated at almost $400,000. The whole ceremony cost from $28 to $32 million. But during the days of the ceremony, people who wanted to see the newlyweds in person spent more than $100 million in London. At Middleton's wish, Westminster Abbey now has a real maple alley, but there were some minor missteps. So the bride was supposed to bow to the Queen as she walked by her side, but forgot. Another interesting fact relates to the exchange of rings. The bride's engagement ring turned out to be a little too small for her, and William had to try his best to put it on, and the groom himself refused to wear this item at all. The wedding was attended by 1,900 guests, including longtime acquaintances of the bride who were not of aristocratic descent, and numerous celebrities, heeding the couple's request, didn't buy them gifts, directing the money to charity. Later that night, Catherine changed her outfit to a strapless satin dress with a heart-shaped neckline, complemented by a cropped mohair jacket. The public fell in love with Kate for her femininity and elegance, but this image was overshadowed by the publication in 2012 of photos in which the Duchess sunbathed topless in a private villa in France. Years of litigation followed, resulting in the photos being deemed an invasion of privacy. In December of that year, it was announced that the Cambridge couple were expecting a new addition to the family. The pregnancy was difficult. Catherine suffered from a severe form of toxicosis and was hospitalized for several days. Firstborn George Alexander Louis was born on July 22, 2013, and the day before, paparazzi were on round-the-clock duty outside St. Mary's Hospital in London to be the first to see the newborn heir to the throne. 2 years later, on May 2, 2015, the Duchess gave birth to Princess Charlotte, who was given the middle and third names Elizabeth Diana after her grandmother and great-grandmother. Expecting the baby was not easy for Kate, but the delivery took place safely in the same St. Mary's Hospital in London. Kate's younger sister's wedding took place in May 2017, during which the Duchess looked after the young page boys and 2-year-old Princess Charlotte, who was the flower girl. And in September, the media learned about the third pregnancy of William's wife. By the way, it was Charlotte who accidentally revealed the secret by telling the school that she would become a big sister, and one of the teachers leaked the information to the press. Kate again suffered from toxicosis, which caused her to stop appearing at official events. Prince Louis Arthur Charles was born on April 23, 2018. The future king and queen tried to bring up all 3 children themselves, but of course they have the help of a nanny. She stays with the royal couple almost constantly and accompanies them on all their trips. The media reports that her monthly salary is $10,000. Over the next few years, the public discussed the rift between the two, Princess William and Harry, as well as between their wives. The family scandals ended with the Sussex couple's departure overseas, which added to the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's workload. Kate's responsibilities include not only social ceremonies, but also leading and patronizing charitable, community, and also cultural projects. In January 2022, Catherine celebrated her 40th birthday, and in September, the world was shocked by the news of Elizabeth II's death. The titles of Duchess of Cornwall and Princess of Wales then passed to Kate. She is still the Duchess of Cambridge, and her other titles now include Colonel of the Irish Guards, Duchess of Rothesay, Countess of Chester, as well as Countess of Carrick and Baroness Renfrew. As the wife of a member of the royal family, Catherine also has her own coat of arms with the crown of the heir to the throne's children. Despite the numerous official titles, people still call her simply Kate, except she doesn't like it very much. Back in 2008, the girl sent an email to her friends asking them to call her Catherine. By the way, as a child, she had the nickname Squeak after one of the 2 guinea pigs she housed in her classroom. And as a teenager, she was nicknamed Kate Middlebum because one time she showed her bum to the boys through the window. Throughout Kate's marriage to William, the media has been filled with rumors of his cheating, and in 2015, there was even a rumor of an illegitimate child. We are unlikely to find out what is truth and what is fabrication. But so far, the Welsh family have been showing love and affection in public. The Princess of Wales loves the outdoors and sports. She tried her hand at hockey, sailing, tennis, and even rugby. At university, she was one of the best at high jumping, and in her pre-royal years, she loved cycling around town. Catherine is also reportedly a certified scuba diver, but she's never been seen riding a horse. Rumor has it that the future queen is allergic to Windsor family favorite animals. Kate follows a healthy lifestyle, but does not deny herself a glass of red wine, and also loves curry. Her favorite sweets are butterscotch pudding, and she makes her own strawberry and plum jam. The princess has a passion for cooking, buys her own groceries, and has even taken courses at a famous London school. She always bakes birthday cakes for her children herself. It has become a lovely family tradition. Catherine is an excellent piano player and occasionally shows off her skills at formal events. And in May 2023, she played the winning hit Stefania by the Ukrainian band Kalush Orchestra on this instrument. Moreover, her outfit was not random. She wanted to use one of the colors of the Ukrainian flag. The royal lady is no stranger to simple pleasures. For example, she loves the TV series One Tree Hill, Downton Abbey, Homeland, and Game of Thrones, and her favorite movie is the romantic comedy Cocktail starring young Tom Cruise. Catherine is still passionate about photography and is an honorary member of the Royal Photographic Society. Over the years, Kensington Palace has published some of her professional photos. The royal lady doesn't star in commercials but takes part in charity projects. For example, she has worked with the charity Place to Be, and on the eve of the 2023 Wimbledon tournament, she starred in a video to spotlight the work of the ball boys and girls. Kate's personal net worth is $10 million. The Prince and Princess of Wales' main income derives from a private estate called the Duchy of Cornwall, and in addition, they receive money from the so-called sovereign grant, namely a percentage of the profits of the Crown estate. In September 2022, it was reported that Catherine was to inherit $110 million worth of the Queen's jewelry. The collection of 300 pieces of jewelry belonged to Elizabeth II personally, not the Crown. Kate has her own jewelry as well, but sometimes she can be seen wearing mass-market jewelry. The same applies to clothing, but journalists estimate that in 2020, the girl spent approximately $128,000 on clothes. William and Kate have an apartment at Kensington Palace that spans 4 floors. There are several reception rooms and the interior is decorated in classic style. The couple used the Anmer Hall residence in Norfolk as their country home. It was given to the couple by Elizabeth II after their wedding, and it cost $2 million to restore the building and renovate the interiors. William once confessed that in Norfolk, they live like an ordinary family away from prying eyes. They have another residence in Scotland, Tamnagar Cottage. The couple spent many happy days there at the beginning of their relationship, and in 2022, the royal couple moved into their new home, Adelaide Cottage in Windsor. They explained the move by their desire to give their children more space to live a normal life, but some Brits didn't like this alleged wastefulness. As for the car fleet, Kate bought a low-volume Golf even before she went to university and then replaced it with a Volkswagen Model MK3 and an Audi A3. After the marriage, she had been spotted with her husband in the Land Rover 3 Series, the electric Audi RS e-tron GT, the Audi A7 and Q7, the Land Rover Discovery, and the Range Rover Vogue. The Princess of Wales is a favorite of the British public. Do you like Catherine?
If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.